tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, wow. My God, we come out of the National Football League draft. All these mock drafts for next year, obviously way too early. Everybody knows that. But all these mock drafts and quarterback ranks for next year are dropping. Brendan Sorsby is considered a top 5 quarterback in next year's draft. Or was. And once again, I'll bring up all of these sporting leagues, all these organizations wrapping their arms around gambling for all of that money when in the past, sports organizations, sports leagues wanted nothing to do with gambling because they just did not want the stigma of the entire situation wrapped anywhere close to games or what might have been going on or what's going on during games or players or yada, yada, yada. The NBA, massive gambling scandal. This is a bad one. It's going to be interesting to see how this affects his draft stock. Texas Tech quarterback Brendan Sorsby to enter a gambling addiction program. Pete Thamel just broke this. He's obviously getting ahead of this because we're coming out of the draft and, man, I don't know. It's just a breaking story so I don't know what any of the draft pundits have to say about any of this yet. Texas Tech transfer Brendan Sorsby, one of college football's top returning players, is checking into a residential treatment program for gambling addiction, the school announced Monday. Sorsby's decision to seek treatment, according to sources, came in the wake of a discovery of Sorsby making thousands of online bets on a variety of sports via a gambling app, which jeopardizes his eligibility with Texas Tech. Wow. Guys, I am going into this story cold, too, so you guys can have my real reaction, first-time reaction, because that's the way I like to roll on these stories like this. The NCAA is investigating Sorsby's gambling, according to sources, as the organization forbids athletes from betting on both college and pro sports. Texas Tech said in a statement that the university is, quote, committed to supporting Brendan through this recovery process and to ensure his long-term health and well-being. Can a player get the death penalty? What they used to call the death penalty? Could he be banned from college athletics? According to sources, Sorsby bet on Indiana football while redshirting for the Hoosiers as a true freshman in 2022. A season in which he played in a single game as a reserve. The bets in 2022, according to sources, were on Indiana to win, and none came in a game in which Sorsby appeared. Sorsby's gambling has not drawn the attention of law enforcement, according to sources, nor has he been linked to anyone attempting to influence the outcome of game. Sorsby's gambling, sources said, was a steady flurry of small bets over a period of time. There's no timetable for Sorsby's treatment, as sources say his situation is being treated as a mental health matter, and that Sorsby will be afforded all the time he needs. His decision as a high-profile college athlete to enter a facility to treat his gambling addiction while enrolled is unprecedented. Quote, we love Brendan and support his decision to seek professional help, Texas Tech head coach Joey McGuire said in a statement. Taking his step requires courage. Our primary focus is on him as a person. Our program is behind Brendan as he prioritizes his health. Okay, so we see how the program is trying to spin this. If we can spin this into some kind of a mental health issue, tie it to health somehow. I mean, because let's be real, they want him to play. This kid's a bad mother effer. I'm not going to kid you. Again, guys have him third quarterback selected next year, fourth quarterback selected, fifth quarterback. They've got him as a first-round pick right now. Now, it's a hell of a deep quarterback class. I mean, there's 12 quarterbacks next year that are going to be flirting with going in the first round. Now, we've heard that before, but not to this extent. Yeah, we've heard, there may be 5 or 6 guys to watch. There's a bunch of legit dudes as of right now, and he was one of them. Sorsby's transfer to Texas Tech this offseason positioned him as one of the faces of the sport for 2026, as he was number 1 on ESPN's transfer portal rankings. Sorsby entered the 2026 season as a projected as a potential high-end NFL draft pick in 2027. He projects to be one of the highest-paid players in college football. As ESPN reported, he was in line to make more than $5 million this year at Texas Tech. He transferred to Texas Tech from Cincinnati, where he was one of the most sought-after players in the NCAA portal this offseason. As for his on-field future, the NCAA has a strict policy against any type of gambling by athletes. Intercollegiate, amateur, or professional athletics competition, and violators are ineligible for competition subject to appeal. The NCAA declined to comment when contacted by ESPN. Any gambling case would be investigated by NCAA enforcement and then handled by the organization's Division I Committee on Infractions. Betting on Indiana football while on the roster looms as a significant obstacle for Sorsby to return, according to NCAA punishment structure. According to amended NCAA guidelines that came out in 2023, student athletes who wager on their own games or other sports at their own schools face a permanent loss of collegiate eligibility in all sports, the death penalty. Wow. Other potential gambling punishment guidelines include if a college football player, for example, bets on a different school in their own sport, the loss of 50% of one season of eligibility will be considered. Sorsby threw for 27 touchdowns, just 5 picks. Last year as a redshirt junior at Cincinnati, he rushed for 9 touchdowns. His dual threat ability made him very coveted in the transfer market last year. God, 22 career rushing touchdowns, 60 passing touchdowns, 7,200 yards. Wow. And backup Will Hammond coming off an ACL tear from October. Texas Tech, all of a sudden, their program may be in a bind for a quarterback. What's going to happen here? How is the NFL going to view this? I mean, that's because they're very much relying on his play this year to make a determinant. Look, we just saw what happened with Garrett Nussmeier. Had a damn good considered first round season in 2024. If he'd came out last year, probably a first round pick. Likely would have been a first round pick. Didn't, got hurt, had an obstacle with an injury, dropped almost completely out of the draft. We officially have one of the biggest stories to watch going forward now. I was just talking to somebody saying who's going to be next year's guy that's going to fall, that was supposed to be drafted high. And, we had Shedeur last year. We had Garrett this year. We had the drama with Diego Pavia. Now you got Brendan Sorsby. I think we just found out that quick. That's weird. I just said that an hour ago to one of the guys on YouTube, CDS Sports Podcast. Tell me what you think. It sounds like his college career could be over. However, is this the time we see the NCAA's how do I put this? Their power actually get tested. In other words, because there's been a lot of talk over the year of the NCAA sort of being abolished, and like if schools got the death penalty, the school would just be like, bleep you, we're just going to keep playing anyway, or and we're not going to pay you money, we're not going to do any of it. And they'd leave it up to the networks and others to see if they could go to the playoffs. There's been a lot of talk of that. I don't know. This is, wow. I did not expect to see this. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.